bringing a puppy into your life isn't just joyful, but it can reshape your world.
So this is Ruby.
This is Ruby.
Today we're going to talk to you about what it feels like to bring a bundle of fur with boundless joy. They demand time and dedication, but it really can be an amazing time for you to bring a puppy into your life and really bring you so much more love and joy.
And really, make no mistake about it, a puppy can enrich your life like nothing else. But the cost of being unprepared can lead to just heartbreak. Ouch. If we fail to appreciate the gravity of this commitment, we can risk the well-being of our new companion and the harmony in our homes.
So we want you to evaluate carefully if a puppy fits in your life. It's really important to go through, and we're going to walk you through all of these questions you might have to make sure that it is good for you. And then if it is, just to embrace it. Because there are moments when it's kind of difficult. Right?
And choosing to bring a puppy into your home is a life-changing decision that can bring immense joy, but only if it's done with awareness and some form of preparedness.
So today, we're going to walk you through all the steps to bringing a puppy into your home. And we hope that we can persuade you, but we also want to make sure that you're really knowledgeable as to what it's like. Because at the end, we want you to stay because we're going to give you the 10 reasons why a dog may not be good for you. And it's not to talk you out of it. It's just to give you a sense of really being sure that you don't make a mistake.
Yeah, absolutely. And you might be thinking, wow, this is a lot of work and it's messy. Or it's a long-term commitment. And you know what? It's all of that and more. But there's boundless moments of unconditional love and companionship. And it's good for your mental well-being as well.
Right. So, again, the other thing is that we're going to do at the end, Jody's going to share with you, we're probably going to do it halfway through, our favorite YouTube channel for dog training.
Love this
One
guy.
of the big things around having a puppy, because we've had 2 dogs together already, and we didn't do the best in the beginning with training.
Aww.
But what?
What do you mean?
We did okay. We did it your way, kind of what your instinct is, and many times your instinct is okay. But this time we're really pouring a lot of training into Ruby and into us so that she turns out to be the best dog ever.
Yes.
Now, if you're new here, I'm Mark, and this is my wife, Jody.
And this is Ruby.
And this is Ruby. And we don't focus on the financial aspects of retirement at all, really, but lifestyle, health, relationships, and more.
So please hit the subscribe button and the notification button so you can get notified when our new videos come out. And share this with someone you care about who's on their retirement journey as well.
Okay. So doesn't Ruby look good because Jody gave her a big print before the show.
But her.
Ruby is our third dog. We had Sugar when we first got married, a 80-pound golden doodle who was amazing. Amazing breed. Ruby is a mini golden doodle. So same breed but smaller because Sugar was big. She was 80 pounds and she was a lap dog. You can't touch that, Ruby.
Yeah, Sugar was very big, and she took up a lot of space. But she was, I would say, she was as well trained as any one of our children.
She was like a human.
She was like a human.
And then we got Max about 5 years later, who was 18-pound Couton de Tulier, a little white dog that was just so much fun. She was deaf, unfortunately. He was. See, I've been getting he and she mixed up. He was deaf. But he and Sugar, who was a girl, were like buddies. They just led each other around. They played. The vet said getting Max will actually extend Sugar's life because it'll keep Sugar more 100%. Yeah. Sugar lived to about 14, and Max was 12. That's another whole story about Max's departure. But she got really sick and I'm just getting. She's okay.
Okay.
All right. Ruby is 12 weeks old.
Yeah, she's just a baby.
But growing up as a kid, I had a dog. I had a beagle and then a golden retriever. Did you have dogs growing up?
I did. I had 2 mutts. One's name was Posey. And she actually had 3 legs. She got hit by a car, and she was a partial amputee for her 3rd leg. 3 out of 4 legs she had. 4th leg was no bueno. And then my grandmother actually had a dog. She had a husky,
A good dog, beautiful eyes.
Beautiful. And when she moved into an apartment after she sold her house, she couldn't take it, so we ended up taking Loretta.
Loretta?
That was her name.
It's a funny name for a dog.
I don't know. That was her name.
What was the first dog's name?
Posy.
Posy, yeah.
Posy's
Loretta.
a flower.
Here, Loretta. I don't know.
Loretta, yeah.
Ruby. You've named all our dogs.
I have. Well, no, Evan.
Sugar?
Evan named
Sugar
Max.
we did because she was so light or white. We thought of Sugar. Max was completely white. Who named Max?
Evan, I think.
Oh, and who named Ruby?
I did.
You named Ruby like 10 years ago.
Ruby.
I want a dog by the name of Ruby.
I think it's cute.
All right, so why don't we jump into the benefits of owning a puppy
Okay.
or a dog?
First and foremost, I would say, the unconditional companionship and love. Constant companionship, offering that special kind of affection, and it really improves my overall happiness. In all honesty, after we lost Max, you wanted to wait.
Max passed away this past July.
July 22nd.
And we agreed to wait a little bit of time to see what life was like without a dog. And from day one that Max passed away, you felt a huge hole in your heart.
I did.
And you had a very difficult time. I think more than anything else, just being alone with me.
No, what it was for me is, Max was just my little buddy. I mean, I could pick him up. He was 18 pounds. I could take him pretty much anywhere. He was good-mannered. He was deaf, so he wasn't a barker. He wasn't like yappy or barky.
That's true.
And, so he was just a good all-around little companion.
Yeah.
Little man, I used to call him, my little man. But, the other thing that I missed outside of the companionship and love was just, being outside and walking walking up into town and having to take breaks from work and get out and walk the dog. I mean, I really feel that my physical activity slowed down when I didn't have the dog.
I would agree with you 1,000%. One of the things about having one dog or two is that you need to go out with them, a minimum of 4 times a day.
Yes.
Right? Early in the morning when they first get up to pee or whatever, and then maybe a longer walk. And we would take 3 longer walks during the day.
Yep.
And then after dinner, a longer walk. So it did cause us to get out and walk a lot more.
And take breaks.
From
our daily
work.
routine.
So it's health benefits, mental well-being, again, like you said. I mean,
Yep.
she is adorable, and every time you walk into the room, like I'll go to the gym at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I get back at 5 after 6, and Jody's up having coffee waiting for me because she goes to the gym at 7. But Ruby hears me come in, and she just goes crazy. And I get down on all fours, and she's kissing me and licking and giving me so much love. And honestly, the great thing about a dog is you could be with them in a room, you could leave for 10 minutes and come back, and it's like they haven't seen you in a month. It really is
Do you want me to say the 2 magical words that get Ruby all fired up to kiss you?
Right now?
Yeah.
Sure.
Ruby, where's Daddy? Where's Daddy?
With Daddy.
Where's Daddy? Oh no, get Daddy, get Daddy, get him kisses. Get him, where's Daddy?
Yeah, see?
Where's Daddy?
See?
I just have to say 2 words. Where's Daddy?
How do you not love
Where's Daddy?
How do you not love that? All right.
Where's Daddy?
I'm a mess and I smell like dog breath.
That's okay.
All right.
So, no more Daddy. Okay. So the mental well-being.
Yeah, purpose and routine. So, caring for another living human, but not human. Yeah, a living creature brings a sense of purpose to our daily life. I mean, we feed her, you bathe her, we walk her, we take her to the vet. There's also a lot of social interaction.
There is.
When we're walking, particularly in Connecticut, that's a dog town, everyone has a dog.
Yeah.
So it's a great conversation starter. And, it helps us expand our social network with people.
Yeah, we haven't actually gone to like dog parks or anything yet because Ruby's still working on getting her last of her shots.
Well, she got them last week or this week, so we can now.
Yeah, well, you're supposed to wait 2 weeks post.
Okay, all right.
So, but then we'll be able to meet other dog parents and maybe spend some time getting to know people.
Yeah. Well, we're friends across the street with Jen and Paul, and they have a little dog.
Kirby.
Mm-hmm. So we have this whole training regimen now. We have this little belt that we put across our waist with a little bag of treats. So Kirby loves when I show up because I just give him treats and don't even have to do any tricks.
There you go.
But let's talk about what kind of puppy might be right for you.
Yeah,
picking a breed.
Like a breed and a temperament, I think that really match with
yeah, and we're going to talk in a minute about where you get a dog, but really right now, what kind of puppy or dog is really good for you? So the temperament of the dog, does it match your energy level?
Right.
So you don't, Ruby needs a lot of playtime.
She does.
So we're down on the floor a lot. We're playing ball a lot. So if you have a lot of energy or the dog has a lot of energy, that has to match up. And
it does.
if your lifestyle doesn't afford that,
yep.
or you're living in a small apartment, maybe a really active dog isn't for you.
Right. And the other thing to consider is the size. So
size of the dog.
The size of the dog. So, Ruby's going to get to be 20, 25 pounds. That would be a smaller, mid-sized dog. Sugar was 80 pounds. She was a big girl. She was a large dog. So you have to really think about the size of the dog and how that will fit into your home environment as the dog grows.
Once you figure that out, grooming and care. There are some dogs, some breeds that require a lot more care. Now, all three of our dogs are dogs that don't shed.
Hypoallergenic.
Hypoallergenic. Yep. So if you're allergic to fur, she has hair.
Right.
So if you're allergic to fur, and some dogs that are fur, they shed like crazy, and there's fur everywhere.
Right.
And that might drive you crazy.
Yep.
So you want to be really clear about what the dog is, and is it going to shed? Is it fur or hair? And what kind of specific care for different breeds. Our oldest son, Markham, wants a boxer. No.
A bulldog.
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 Well, bulldogs have a little special treatment you need in their butt. I don't know how else to say it.
They have an extra pocket that sometimes
that you need to clean out.
Can get stuck
and that wouldn't work for me. No, none.
The other thing when you're thinking about breeds is different health predispositions. Some breeds have common specific health issues. Some dogs have hip trouble, some have joint problems, some have back problems, some. My brother has a beautiful dog. It's the second that they've had of the same kind, and it has heart issues that are bred into.
Is that common in that breed?
In that breed, yeah. It's a Cavalier King Charles, I think, and there are certain breeds that have certain health issues,
right.
And that one happens to have. This is their second one with a heart issue.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing it's really important, is your dog doesn't live forever. As a matter of fact, more than likely you're going to outlive your dog, unless you're 90, let's say. But I don't know if getting a dog at 90 makes sense. But even if you did, you'd want to also make accommodations for what happens if you do pass. Who gets the dog? You want that figured out ahead of time. But Sugar lived 14, Max lived 12. Ruby's expected to live 12 to 14. Some bigger dogs, really big dogs, last maybe 8 to 10 years.
Yeah.
So you need to know that going in.
Right.
Smaller dogs tend to live a little bit longer. So you got to be okay with that. And you really have to understand that.
So the third thing to think about is buying or finding a puppy, or adopting, or going the rescue route. Make sure that you are dealing with reputable sources.
Right.
Seek out responsible breeders, shelters, rescue organizations that you can verify the reputation. I talked to a lady at the gym this morning, and her daughter just got 2 dogs. They live in the middle part of the country. And the woman that they get them from, she actually drives into western Pennsylvania, where I guess there are puppy mills.
Ew.
And she goes and she rescues 5 at a time from these puppy mills, and then brings them out to donate. It's donation based. She's just trying to save the puppies. And I think this lady said to me, the lady has saved more than 35 puppies this year.
Wow. Well,
so you have to seek out reputable, responsible people and organizations.
And I think rescuing a puppy or a dog
is amazing.
Is a way to go to. We haven't done that. I don't know why we haven't. Maybe the next one we will.
Yeah.
We know a lot of people have asked us about that when they first see Ruby. Is that a rescue? And we have to say no. But the thing about a rescue is you are more than likely going to save that dog from being euthanized. So that's a big reason to do it. And there's dogs that come up to the States from Cuba when there's a storm, or parts of Florida or Texas, dogs are found. So it really is a good thing to do if that aligns with you. You won't know a lot about the dog, but a vet can figure out a lot of.
Maddie's boyfriend
their
Benjamin
Has a
rescued
great rescue.
Ace. And Ace was a little skittish to begin with,
Mm-hmm.
but Ben found that putting a lot of boundaries around Ace, I mean, he is a great dog now.
Yeah, well,
he really is.
When we get into the training section, you and I have learned an awful lot about training a pup or a dog, and how important it is to really let them know that you're in charge. It just takes a lot of consistency and a lot of work, but it's worth it.
Absolutely.
So there is a cost involved if you buy a puppy at a puppy store. So you
Or
need
through
to
a
know
breeder,
that.
yep.
And there's also costs ongoing with a puppy.
Yeah, their health.
There's the vet, there's health, there's medicine, there's food, there's toys.
Oops, careful.
You need a bundle of toys. Assessing the puppy's health, you really need to, and Jody, you're so good at this, really paying attention to our dog's health and how they're feeling. You just know.
Well, and if it's not enough for us as we age to advocate for our own health, you do have to advocate to your vet for your puppy's health or your dog's health. When you know when something's not right, as the person who's around the puppy all the time. So you do have to become an advocate in that way.
Right. Now, hopefully Ruby is not going to be more than 20 pounds, because we'd love to be able to travel with her to see our kids in California and Austin. It'd be really nice to bring Ruby to visit our grandsons, which would be cool. So we'll have to see how she does. She might still be small enough to go in January when we go.
Oh, I don't know.
Can we bring Ruby to
don't know.
California?
We'll have to ask.
We'll just bring her
No,
as a
we
surprise.
don't just bring her.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you own a dog or you have a puppy or people are coming to visit, it's kind of nice to let them know you have a dog and you're going to bring it, or the other way around.
Absolutely.
So, making your home safe for a puppy.
Puppy proofing.
You cannot just get a puppy and think everything's going to be okay. There's, just like a baby, there's things they can't get at. There's what's the matter?
What did we find this week that Ruby was getting into and made her sick?
Your face wash?
Nope.
What? Oh yeah, the plants on the lanai. I'm in charge of plants and watering the plants, and they have the little things underneath of the trays to catch the water, but it was leaking out. So Ruby kept drinking it, and it was clear, but
it was stagnant, raunchy.
It was
plant
not that
water.
Well, that's what we found out now, because she got sick, didn't feel well, and the vet said, "Do you have any plants that where the water spills out, because that's not good water for puppies to drink?" So we said, "Yeah, we might have
water."
that." So we didn't do a good job puppy proofing that part, but now we know.
Yep. And you have to choose the right supplies, right? Equip your home with crates if you're going to crate train, beds, toys, feeding supplies. Along with that, it's good to establish some boundaries. And I know Benjamin, Maddie's boyfriend Benjamin, does a great job with that with Ace.
Yep. So contingency planning. You need to deal for accidents and damages that come with a new puppy.
No, what damages?
You say that she's never made a mess in the house, but she has. But you don't seem to see it, or you forget about it, because you say that she's...
Because she's so good.
They make a mess.
Yeah, she does.
I mean,
we have a video that we should actually put the video of B-roll in when Ruby got a hold of the toilet paper.
Oh, it's the wrong way, but I'm sure we'll do it again.
Yeah, that was
hopefully we're going to do some video this weekend that'll get into the video of Ruby either having fun, playing, hopefully not having an accident. But she does, or she has, peed in the house and pooped, and you just need to deal with it. Ugh. And there's all sorts of sprays and things to clean up so that they don't do it again.
Right.
But she gets into everything, so you really need to keep an eye on her for sure.
Especially during the holiday season, you've got to call out some plants and things that are poisonous.
Right. All right. Now you need to find a good vet. So it's interesting that vets, like doctors, some vets say they're not taking any more clients because they're so busy, because so many people have pets, and that happened during
COVID.
Yeah, COVID. People everyone got a pet,
Yeah.
which was
A
great
lot of
because a
people
lot
did.
of rescues were saved.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
you really want to speak to some neighbors or friends that have dogs to try to find the right vet that has a pet care philosophy that matches up with yours.
Yeah, and you want to make sure that you get set up on the regular checkups. Make sure that you know all of the different and various, shots that they're going to need, and any emergency preparedness that you need to get done. You need to see if your vet has an emergency service or an affiliate hospital.
Yeah,
I had to do that with Max.
That's really important
end.
because your vet might not necessarily have hours, 24 hours of service. So you need to find out where the animal hospitals are near you, because it could be at 2 o'clock in the morning, there's a problem, and you just have to get in the car and go.
Yeah.
So you can't wait and hope that everyone's going to be okay.
Right. And you might want to consider pet insurance. I know back when I started early in my insurance career, someone said, "Oh, that would be a good thing to do," and everyone kind of laughed. But pet insurance has become a pretty big business.
Yeah.
And you can get it so that it covers, all the shots, or just emergencies, or over a different level. There's many different ways to buy it that makes it cost effective.
And the other thing with the vet, I guess like your doctor, you really want to create a relationship with your lead veterinarian, but the rest of the folks in the office too, so that when you call up and you have an emergency, you've been kind to them and nice, and they know who you are, and they'll let you come in, because sometimes you just really worried about something and you want to get in.
Your puppy can't tell you, right? You're kind of guessing, that you don't feel well, type of thing.
All right. Training and socializing your puppy. So what we're doing differently this time, because YouTube is such a big thing too, is we found this YouTube channel. What is it again?
Zach George. Puppy trainer.
So Zach George is amazing.
Yeah, he's great.
He covers everything and anything you can imagine. It's 10-minute bites that you can consume, and it's really good on so many different aspects of training a dog: crate training, potty training, biting, jumping on you, whatever it might be. His videos are great.
He is great.
And he's really doing live training on his videos when he's, recording his videos. It's not just his dog, it's clients' dog.
And it's funny, I watch a bunch of those videos, and Ruby happens to be sitting there, and it's funny to watch Ruby watch the video of, the puppy being trained or whatever it might be. But Zach George, we'll drop the link below. It's an amazing YouTube channel. And he does everything in a holistic way, and everything is around connecting you to your puppy, not, I guess I would say, not harsh treatments.
Yeah. Now, what we've done, in addition to that, we've found this really amazing guy who lives in our neighborhood, who's a professional dog trainer, been doing it for years, and he comes every Tuesday at 2 o'clock for an hour. And Jody and I and...
Ruby.
Not Ruby, what's his name?
Errol.
Go out, and I think I have some video of that. Maybe we'll pop that in. But just really understanding so much more about what makes dog tick and why you need to say certain things and do certain things, like just walking, and when a big heavy truck comes by. There's so much that we've learned to really help Ruby feel more comfortable.
And really,
right?
it's about being consistent with that too, right? The consistency in training, making sure that we stick to the behaviors that Errol's actually teaching us.
Yeah, well, that's...
Right? And then that we also have a lot of patience with Ruby. I mean, she is a baby,
But she does nap.
Won't she?
I love when she naps.
You do?
Yeah.
That's your favorite part of Ruby is nap?
So we hope you're convinced now to run out and get a puppy, but we just want to double check in with you on this thing to let you know some of the things you really need to know about. Number one, it's a big time commitment.
It is.
100%. They require exercise. You have to play with them. I played catch this morning with Ruby for 20 minutes in the back hall where it's really long. I just toss the ball and give her a little treat every time she brings it back for 20 minutes. While you were at the gym.
Yeah.
And they need that kind of exercise.
They do.
And it's a fun way to play with your dog. So time commitment is important.
Financial responsibility is another big one to think about before you jump in. The cost of veterinary care and food and grooming and other expenses like pet insurance that I mentioned earlier can add up and can be a real concern, especially for those of us on fixed incomes.
So, third thing is lifestyle constraints. One of the reasons I wanted to wait after Max passed in July was I wanted to see what our life would be like from a travel point of view, not having dogs. And, we traveled a little bit, and
Not much.
but it really allows you to, like, we like to play golf, so we could go to golf, we could stay late, we didn't have to worry about racing back.
Right.
But weighing all of that against the love, the unconditional love, and the fun we had with the dog, we finally, I wouldn't say the word is gave in, but our life is better with a dog than it is without it. Wouldn't you say that?
I don't know, but I'm glad we have that on tape.
What do you mean? Our life is better with a dog than it is without.
Ruby, did you hear that?
That's what Daddy says.
The fourth thing that I would say, just kind of audit this for yourself, is any space limitation. Living in apartments or homes without yards, you may not feel it's adequate space for dogs, especially larger breeds. So take your space limitations, in mind.
Or if you live in a condominium complex where you're on the 15th floor, you've got to make sure you put the effort in to go out, go down the elevator, and walk your dog.
Yeah.
It's a little more complicated. Doesn't mean it's not okay.
Right.
But it's just another thing you need to think about. Dogs do have health issues. We talked about that earlier, and they get allergies.
Well, and this is you even get allergies.
I've been doing this because I keep getting a little bit of...
If you get a dog, and somebody in your family or someone close to you is allergic because of the pet dander, or some of the other things, that could be tough.
Yep.
Definitely tough.
We talked about travel and
Yeah.
freedom. Having a puppy or a dog does limit your ability to travel, and it takes away some of your freedom. But there's nothing there. The door is shut. It's still, the joy that we get is just overwhelming. It's so much better than, we don't really lose freedom. Listen, the other thing we found is... Rover. Like Uber's for dog, it's Rover. So if you get the Rover app, you can find people in your neighborhood that will come to your house and walk your dog. You can drop them off at their house, board your dog for daycare overnight. That's been a huge change for us. I forgot about that.
Yeah, it is a good one.
What's Rover? We should put that link below too.
Yeah, I love that app. The other thing that you have to remember is having a dog is a long-term commitment. It can be 10, 12, 14, 16 years. So, Mark is 67. Let's say Ruby lives for 14 years. You'll be, 81.
Oh.
We'll still have Ruby. Rubalicious.
Then you'll need time to take care of me.
Uh-oh.
But there also is the sad time when they go, because they will. And you just, again, the 10 years you have with her or him, or the 14 years is just wonderful. Behavioral issues, you can see her. She's actually pretty good, but they will chew on stuff. They will.
You should see my arm.
They will pee in your house. But it's just a part of, and as Sugar got older, that was a bit of a problem because she started to lose her ability to hold stuff in and, her facilities. But, they're going to misbehave. They're not a 20-year-old kid that you can tell them what to do. And even a 20-year-old kid sometimes doesn't listen.
That's right. There is an emotional readiness that I would say, that you're going to need, the emotional toll of bonding and then eventually losing the pet. I had a really, really difficult time when I lost Max, and Mark wasn't home.
No, I was where was I?
You were here in Florida with Christopher.
That's right.
Playing golf, and I was home, and Max got into a very poor state of health very quickly, and it went downhill really fast.
Terrible.
And it was really hard on me.
Right. Well, the 10th reason, or the 10th issue to think about is rental restrictions. People who rent their homes might face restrictions from landlords or property managers regarding pet ownership. So if you're a renter, you really need to check the rules. Or if you rent an Airbnb or you travel to hotels. Now, many Airbnbs and hotels allow dogs now.
A lot of hotels do now.
A lot of
big
dogs,
chains, a lot
yeah.
of fancy chains even.
So you just need to know.
Yeah.
So, listen, having a puppy is a huge responsibility. We know that. And you need to know that too.
But the last 10 reasons why you may not want a dog or may want to think about a dog, if that didn't scare you, then go out and do some searching and find the joy in unconditional love. Ouch.
Where's Daddy?
That will
Where's
change
Daddy?
your life. Daddy,
See?
where's your daddy?
Who wouldn't love this? So listen, if you love this video, you're going to love this next one. Retiring Solo. 7 tips to ward off loneliness. Now, in that video, we don't talk about having a pet. But if you are feeling lonely, this is a great video. And the knowledge you've learned here, it might be exactly what you need.
Say bye, Ruby. Say bye.